Who will win this week in Champions League Matchday 3? Will Manchester United find themselves next to be eliminated from the knockout stages? I'm Redbeard. This is Targo.
What's up, guys?
Join us as we tackle this week in football. This is an all-new episode of Brews and Banter FC, and it starts right now. What up, man?
How's it going? Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited for this beer I got in front of me. So what are you drinking?
I'm not drinking a beer. I'm drinking some Screwball peanut butter whiskey with cranberry juice. I call it a PB&J because it tastes like peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Yeah.
We got that out of the way.
You knew I was going to do it. Someone says peanut butter jelly, I can't not do it. So, today I got another one coming at you from South Carolina, Sweetwater Brewing Company. This one's extra pale ale, $4.20.
$4.20. Is there something extra in that beer?
It's called the OG pale ale for them, I guess. Fresh, flavorful, well balanced every time. If you know, you know.
Oh, I don't know. So let us know. How is this pale ale?
I'll be honest with you. You know when you go to drink and you breathe in the air from it? Right off the bat? It tastes like that part tastes like an IPA, but when you taste it, it just tastes like a nice, crisp, refreshing pale ale. Like not an IPA at all.
Smells like an IPA, but doesn't taste
Smells
like
an IPA. Does not taste like an IPA. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay.
And I will say I've had this before, but I did not remember what it tastes like. So you can guess on when I had that.
Had too many of them, huh?
A few. Yes.
So we had match day 3 in the Champions League. 3. Did not disappoint. I posted a TikTok video about it. I thought this was all about the youngsters, man, in this Champions League round.
Oh, yeah. This round was all about them.
Great young talent stepping up. We'll get into it when we get to the games. But let's start off. The first game we had was Bayern Munich and Galatasaray. So this one was in Turkey, in Istanbul, and it ended 3-1 to Bayern Munich. This was an interesting game. I thought Galatasaray played very well.
They had over 20 shots.
For a large portion of this game, they played very well.
Yeah.
I would argue the first goal came from Kingsley Coman in the 8th minute against the run of play.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then Mauro Icardi got brought down by Joshua Kimmich for a PK that he then Paneka'd in the 30th.
The audacity.
It was. And then it was about the 70th minute, I would say. Galatasaray, they kind of started to run out of steam. And it was Harry Kane, man. Then 73rd, he put him ahead. Some wonderful play by Jamal Musiala. And then Musiala would get his goal to make it 3-1.
Yeah, Harry Kane with the assist on that one.
Yeah.
Like you said, man, this was the week of the youngsters, and Musiala putting in yet another world-class performance. Putting the sword to Galatasaray. But yeah, like you said, I think Galatasaray can feel hard done by that scoreline. That's for sure.
Yes, they can. When I was watching this game, I also noticed something else. Galatasaray is a hodgepodge of old Premier League players from like every team, man. Yeah, Davison Sanchez, former Tottenham player, Lucas Torreira, former Arsenal player, Wilfred Zaha from Crystal Palace, and Dombele from Tottenham. Kenny played at Leicester.
They really are, though. But hasn't that been the Turkish teams for what's forever, it seems like?
Don't forget Angelino, who played for Manchester City.
Yeah.
Their left back came on.
And RB Leipzig, yeah.
And so I just thought it was hilarious. All these former Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City players playing together.
It really is a hodgepodge, though. Like, you couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah. Speaking of Premier League, we had Manchester United take on Copenhagen at Old Trafford. This one ended 1-0 to Manchester United. The lone goal, Harry Maguire, man.
Prince Harry on the end of a Christian Eriksen cross, and probably some of the worst defending I've ever seen.
It was real bad.
So open. He was so open. And if he had missed that in pure Harry Maguire style, I would have thrown something at the TV.
That was in the, I think, 72nd minute, so it was late on. But Manchester United, they got the win. Did they deserve it, though?
No, not at all. No. Copenhagen were pushing them this whole match, and I would say their goal was even against the run of play. And the whole first half dominated by Copenhagen.
The whole first half, I would say, was dominated by Copenhagen. Man United came into it a little bit in the second. Copenhagen can feel hard done by. They got a PK right at the death, saved by Onana.
I gotta say, Garnacho, man. Woo! Stepping on that penalty spot, and you could see, like, in the replay, the penalty spot, you know how it's painted, right? It was splattered everywhere around that penalty. He dug a hole for that penalty. Woo!
I will say Onana had a pretty good game. He came up with some big saves in this one, kept United in it. And so it was fantastic to see, you know, a couple of the banter players that we like to shit on, Andre Onana and Harry Maguire, coming up big for this game.
They were
honestly keeping them in the Champions League to make it to the knockout rounds. Because I think if they would have lost this game or even drew it, it would have been difficult for them.
Yeah, you'd have to go to Copenhagen and win, and go to Istanbul and win, because we all know probably won't beat Bayern Munich at home.
No. Those are tough games, man.
Yeah.
2 away games and your home games against Bayern Munich. And if you look at them in the table, they're sitting on 3 points here. They're in that Europa League spot. They're behind Galatasaray, who's on 4 points, and Bayern Munich. We're perfect so far. Maybe when Bayern Munich comes to Old Trafford, you see some rotation there.
Even with rotation with that Bayern Munich squad, I still don't know if Manchester United stand a chance. Matthias Tell coming in. I would assume Harry Kane would still start. Musiala probably is on the bench, but then you got Mueller coming in. I don't
Serge Gnabry probably.
Yeah. I don't see United getting any points from that game. I've been wrong before. I mean, it's still a lot of time left for them to pick their season up and gain some momentum before then. But I don't see Galatasaray losing to them in Istanbul. And if they draw and beat Copenhagen, that leaves United with 6 points.
And so, yeah, we're already halfway through the group stages. Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts. It's like, holy crap, where has this season gone? I mean, we're almost 10 games through the Premier League also. 3 games into the Champions League. Holy crap.
Having said that, I think United, they're definitely going to have to beat Copenhagen. And I think they're going to have to do something against Galatasaray.
They can't draw or lose that game unless somehow Galatasaray does not beat Copenhagen, which could happen. But I believe their match is in Istanbul as well. So we'll see.
It's not. It's in Denmark.
It's in Denmark. Okay. So then, yeah, I mean, anything could happen on the last match day. It's all going to be what happens in the next two.
Group A will definitely be interesting. Watching Man United and Galatasaray fight it out for that second place spot. But let's move on to Group B. We had Arsenal facing Sevilla in Spain. Arsenal coming out 2-1 winners. Gabriel Martinelli, man. First
what a match.
The Champions League scores a goal.
What a match it was. And yeah, what a performance by young Gabriel Martinelli. And the first goal, man, it was Gabby to Gabby to Gabby.
It was.
They're all sitting there with the Spider-Man meme.
Gabriel Magalhaes clears it up, and then this turn, man. This beautiful turn from Gabriel Jesus. And then the ball to play in Martinelli, sending him one-on-one, and just goes around the keeper like it was nothing. Nothing. I got nervous when he got one-on-one. I was watching it. I was like, ooh.
He was also very close to that keeper, too.
And, like, it didn't look like he was moving very quick. Like, he was running fast or something. I don't know if my feed was lagging or what, but he just looked like he was out for a little trot.
It was not. And there was nobody in sight besides the keeper. So, his trot apparently is faster than 90% of the players. So,
right? I saw some fun fact, though, that Gabriel Martinelli, like his first Premier League game, his first FA Cup, first whatever League Cup game, and all of his first games, he scored in all of them. That is a wild and fun statistic.
I think we all forget he's very young still. He's only, 23 years old?
22.
22, see? Yeah. And how cool and collected he is. And he looks like an established Premier League player. I mean, we remember when he got bought by Arsenal. We're like, who's this kid? And then we went and saw him in preseason, and he tore it up against Bayern Munich.
I remember a specific game. It was when Freddie Ljungberg was in caretaker manager. It was against West Ham. He scored a fantastic goal. Yeah. I was like, oh, this kid is special.
And they got him for what, like $4 million?
Something like that, yeah. Arsenal would go 2-up, though, through Gabriel Jesus. Oh, peach of a goal.
Mwah.
Curler into that top right corner, beats his defender, gets that little bit of space, and just curls it, man.
Where the spiders lay their eggs, my friend. How good was Gabriel Jesus in this match, though? Like, this might have been his best performance in an Arsenal kit.
Pretty close, man. That was in the 53rd minute, and yeah, he did have to come off. He had a little bit of an injury, a hammy. Looked like did something to his hammy there.
Yeah, and his press conference afterwards, he was like, yeah, I felt something, but, I was tired. I just wanted to sit down.
It's fine.
It's fine. I didn't want to come off, but it's fine. I'm like, what does that even mean, man? You came off with a hamstring injury, but you're like, I was just tired. Okay.
Whatever. Think he might get a little rest here against Sheffield United at the weekend?
Probably. Yeah, I would expect Eddie to start. But then again, we'll get into other people I expect to start that we have yet to see. So we'll see.
Ramsdale. So right when Arsenal were cruising, though, when life seemed good, Sevilla get one back. Off of a corner, thunderous header, just goes right past Raya. I'm going to butcher this defender's name. It's like Gay or something. Guy Nemanja. Whatever it is.
Gudledge. Yeah.
He had a fantastic header. I was looking at it, though. If they would have had a player on that post, probably would have stopped it.
Yep. Just saying.
Why are coaches not fans of that? I was always a fan of that growing up,
on both posts, yeah.
I honestly would always volunteer. Oh, I'll go to the post. It was a lot easier than having a market defender.
I'm like, at the time, I was one of the biggest players on the field as a striker, and I'm like, guys, that's a lot of work. I'm just going to go stand by the post, man. I got a wider frame. I take up more room. It's okay.
But you definitely save at least a couple goals a season having a player there.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if that's an Arteta thing, if that's a David Raya thing, just how he sets up his defense, if he wants someone on the post or not. But it begs the question, I mean, yet another poor performance by David Raya. What is it going to take for Aaron Ramsdale to get into a match?
So I can't fault him on that goal, but there was definitely an event that happened right at the end where a cross came on, and he went to go out to try to punch it, and I don't know, he hits it with like the back of his hand, and it goes back towards the goal, and I'm thinking, oh shit,
yeah,
and it lands on the top of the net, and I was like, oh,
so
sigh of relief.
But like, I understand if like you got ahead of the ball and you're trying to come back and punch it and it goes off the back of your fist, but like otherwise, if you don't do that, it's almost like you're scared and you're just kind of
maybe a little nervous coming out, getting clattered, or
and you know what, I mean, we are playing in Champions League, and in the Premier League that's a big thing, free kicks and stuff like that. I mean, Aaron Ramsdale's like 6'3", 6'4", and very good in the air.
He's very good in the air.
Why is he not playing, Mikel Arteta? Why? Please. Give me a straight answer, not this stupid stuff we hear in press conferences. Give me a straight answer. If David Raya is your number one, awesome. If he's not, and you have two number ones, put in Aaron Ramsdale, for Christ's sake. Rant over.
Now that your rant's over, let's move on to the other game in that group. We had Lens against PSV. This one was in Lens. And it ended 1-1.
Yeah, deserved too.
In the first half, it was a pretty slow first half. Chucky Lozano came close. He hit the kind of the inside of the post and came straight back out. Bit unlucky.
He had a heck of a game though. Chucky did.
Yeah, he did. And PSV, they would eventually take the lead. Johan Bakayoko put PSV in the lead with a golazo, man.
Woo, man. Did he strike that so cleanly?
Very.
That thing knuckled in every which direction.
That was in the 54th minute. I do feel like the goalkeeper, man, could have done better.
It didn't even look like he tried to save that. It was almost like he's like, oh, it's going to go wide, and then, oh, shit.
Like, he didn't even really put his arms up to try to save it.
He just like, fell down. Like, well, it's going wide. And then it went in the side netting. Like, yes, the answer to your question is yes, he could have done much better.
But Lens will equalize through, I'm going to say it's pronounced Ilie Wahi. Fantastic little improvised finish, man. Little volley.
Oh, this kid, man, this is the second game in a row in the Champions League he's done this. Did it against Arsenal. Now he does it against PSV. Holy crap, is he, like, he's got to be destined for a big money move in either January or the summer.
I definitely think this summer he could go. He's only 20 is the thing.
I know.
He's only 20 years old.
But, like, at 20, with that much skill, you got the world at your feet. Like, what team would suit him best?
Arsenal.
I want to say that, but I feel like his game is better suited for more like a Spain, like a Real Sociedad even.
Yeah, it could. I mean, so the 3 matches in the Champions League, he's already got 2 goals. And in Liga, he's not firing quite on all cylinders in Liga. But still, I said this was a match week for youngsters. There's another one. 20-year-old popping up with a big goal, man.
And Johan Bakayoko, too. He's just a babe. Wee babe.
A wee babe. How old is he? Now I'm curious. I don't know how old he is.
I think he's 20 as well, I want to say.
He is also 20. So 2 20-year-olds, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, PSV sitting bottom of Group B. Lens second behind Arsenal and Sevilla.
Right where they want to be, man. That Europa League spot where they...
see you, Sevilla. You're not fooling nobody, okay? You're not fooling nobody. Second. 2 points and in third place. All right. Europa League, here we come.
It's going back to win it again.
Yeah. Oh, no, we suck again.
But then we get real good. All right, well, let's move on to the next group, Group C. And we had Union Berlin against Napoli. Napoli coming out 1-0 winners. Cavaradona, man.
He might have had a slow start to the season, but man, is he on fire right now.
He is. He tore it up in his last game, I believe, too, in Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
But he came up with a big assist, beating his defender, cutting it back for Raspadori. Finished it. Beautiful assist. Berlin, man.
Fun fact, that was Napoli's only shot on target.
Was it really?
Yeah, in the entire game.
They made that one count.
They did. They did.
You're not wrong. I'm looking at it now. Shots on target.
I only know it because I listened to the whole chant that Union Berlin fans did with the team afterwards because, I mean, they're in big trouble sitting bottom of the Bundesliga. It's their 9th match they've lost in a row. They're in big trouble.
Yeah, just kind of all around. Bundesliga in this group. Honestly, it looks like they're going home. But I think those, like you said, those chants, those Union Berlin fans, they're just happy to be there. It seems like.
I mean, how can you not be proud of your team? I mean, you went from what was it like Bundesliga 3 to the Bundesliga in like 5 years, and then within 2 years you made it into the Champions League. Like, okay, good job. I can't even be upset with that.
But yeah, looks like they're in trouble. The other game in the group saw Braga against Real Madrid. Real Madrid coming out 2-1 winners.
I will say this Braga stadium is absolutely beautiful, with a rock wall on a whole side and the scoreboard at the top of it. It's
right
called
by
the Quarry,
the stands there. Yeah,
it is absolutely gorgeous. But we'll really get into it.
Well, Real Madrid would get the scoring started. A beautiful long ball over the top from Nacho to Vinny Jr., who then just put his defender man through the spin cycle. Vinny Jr. is just so fast. He's so fast.
So good. He's so good.
And then he crossed it in for Rodrigo to finish. That was in the 16th minute. I mean, just Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And on the hour mark, that man who just has been scoring goals for fun, Jude Bellingham, with like the calmest, I don't want to say laziest of finishes, but it was just...
It almost looked lazy, man. That was like the calmest, easiest pass into the corner of the net from outside the 18.
He passed it. Just, right into the net.
Yeah. And like as soon as he hit it, you're like, the goalie stands no chance, and this is going in. But it was a slow roller. It was crazy.
It was. And it looked like Real Madrid were kind of cruising until they weren't. Because they were only cruising for 2 minutes when Braga scored their goal. Just 2 minutes later, Alvaro Giallo beating Kepa at his near post. I will say I can't really fault Kepa for it too much.
No.
But it made things interesting.
It did.
And then Vinny Jr., man. Camavinga played a beautiful ball to him. Over the top, he scores it, and his offside by a nose hair, man.
Oh, man. When they showed the graphic, it was literally like by his hairline. It's like on the side. I'm like, it's his hair. It shouldn't count. Why? It was such a beautiful ball by Camavinga, too.
Oh, yeah. I will say Braga had a couple chances later on to equalize.
Especially late.
Yeah.
They were pushing for it. It's Real Madrid holding out, getting that 2-1 victory. Honestly, they probably, if they really wanted to, probably could have blown Braga out. But they left a little close, and Braga thought they had a chance. And I probably would say at the end there, they probably could have scored. But
so that leaves Real Madrid, man. They're perfect so far. 3 wins out of 3 games, sitting in first on 9 points. You got Napoli with 2 wins and a loss, sitting on 6 points. Braga in that Europa League spot on 3 points, and Union Berlin with a big fat goose egg, man. I hope they at least get a win.
A point, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably doing them a favor to get knocked out of all European competitions this season.
They need to focus on that Bundesliga, man.
They do.
They're struggling.
The last thing you want especially after the story they had last season, is for them to get relegated this season.
Oh, you don't want that, no.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on to Group D. We had one of the teams I suspected would get out of this group, Real Sociedad.
You did.
Against the team you thought would get out of this group, Benfica.
Which, I'll say it now, I concede, because they've lost 3 of 3, as Real Sociedad beat them 1-0. And probably could have been a lot more.
Yeah, it took a little late. Brais Mendes put Sociedad ahead on the 63rd minute after some great play from Benarexia. Probably butchered that, sorry.
Whatever, I do it all the time, man. I do it all the time.
But man, there was a play in this game I want to talk about where it was like beautiful build-up play. Takefuse Kubo cuts onto that left foot, top of the 18, has a rocket of a shot.
I thought it was destined for the net. I thought it was destined
for the crossbar, man.
There had to have been 30 passes in that build-up too. Like, it was one of the nicest team plays I've ever seen. And
would have been a great goal.
As Arsenal fans, we've seen a lot of those, including some the goal of the year. I forget the trophy name, but
Puskás.
That's it. Some Puskás Award winners, but nope. Wasn't to be. Crossbar said, I have other ideas.
Yeah, I mean, Benfica, man, they're sitting bottom of that group. They literally need to win out their games to have
Not
any
gonna
chance.
happen. Not gonna happen.
Well, let's move on to the other game in that group. We had Inter Milan against RB Salzburg. Inter Milan coming out 2-1 winners. I will say, Salzburg came out flying in this one. And Inter kind of took the lead against the run of play through one of our old favorites, Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah. Turning back the years, my friend.
It was interesting. There was like a ball in. I can't remember who it was for, but it was for a different player who kind of, the ball was behind him. And then it just rolled right to Alexis, who's like, oh, thank you. And curled it past the goalie.
Yeah. I mean, it's his first goal since his return at Inter. Becomes the record holder for most Champions League goals by a Chilean, passing Arturo Vidal, which, for how many goals Alexis Sanchez has scored, it makes no sense that Arturo Vidal.
I don't know. I was thinking that too. Like, Arturo Vidal has
okay.
the most, huh?
Must have been all those years of Arsenal not playing well in the Champions League.
It must have been.
Or him at Manchester United. I don't either one.
But just after halftime, around the hour mark, RB Salzburg would get a goal. Gonna butcher his name as well. Oscar Glock. Don't know how you pronounce that last name. But I mean, it was fantastic. It was a long ball up. That forward up there had some fantastic hold up play. A quick, 1-2. Boom, they're in. Goal. 1-1. And it took until, 7 minutes later about?
Just about, yeah.
PK. So they had to get saved by a PK. Hakan Çalhanoğlu steps up, takes it. I thought it was a pretty obvious foul on Davide Fratesi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He got decked.
But looking at that group, man, Real Sociedad sitting top.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, man. Real Sociedad might be my new favorite team to watch in La Liga. Just their style of play. It's so similar to Arsenal. Just 1-2s all around the pitch. And then Takefusa Kubo. Man, does that kid know how to move the ball? He's like a mix of Martin Odegaard and Kiro Matuma. Like, holy shit.
He's quick. He's definitely quick. All right. Well, let's move on to our next group, which was Group E. And honestly, this was one of the games I was most looking forward to watch. It was Feyenoord and Lazio. This one ended 3-1 to Feyenoord.
I'll be completely honest, this might have been the best game of the week. In my opinion.
You think so, huh?
It's pretty good. It's up there. It's up there.
So Santi Jimenez, man, was the star of the show in this one, the Mexican forward. Got his goal in the 25th minute with, I kind of think it was a little bit lucky. I know you kind of had different thoughts looking at the replays, but it was like his foot, defender's foot kind of met at the same time, and it kind of looped over the goalie as he went down to save it. Either way, it was a beautiful cushion touch in to get the shot off.
Yes. Yeah, 25th minute, I want to talk about the one he got called for offsides, which is where he chipped the keeper from 18 yards out, which was absolutely beautiful. But
would have been.
6 minutes later, you're right. Wonderfully cushioned touch. Did it take a deflection? Did it not? Did they both kick the ball at the same time? Ball went in the back of the net. It was a great finish either way.
Yes, it was.
I mean, he scored 9 straight games. He's the first player to do so since Graziano Pele in 2013. He's got 14 goals already this season. That's the same amount as Mauro Icardi, who seemingly can't miss the net. So
I saw him miss a PK here on week 2.
Yes, we did.
I don't know about that. But just before halftime, Feyenoord, man, they'd make it 2-0 as Ramiz Zarouki would perfectly placed his looping first time strike to side netting after a superb cutback from Stangs, however you pronounce his name, Dutch player.
Yeah. It was a great cutback. Took it all the way to the line, beat 2 defenders. First time shot, side netting. It's wonderful.
And then Jimenez, man, he would get his second shot on target. Goalie saves it. Ball falls right to him. Easiest of tap-ins. And so I kind of want to go on a little Santi Jimenez rant here, man.
Let's do it.
He was signed from Cruz Azul in Mexico back in 2002. And last year for Feyenoord, he scored 15 goals and 32 appearances. This year, he already has 13 goals and 9 appearances for Feyenoord in just the league. That's just the league, not including the 2 goals he scored.
Since the beginning of last season, he's got 38 goals in all competitions, including this season.
How long does he stay at Feyenoord?
Maybe till the summer. Maybe till January. It depends what teams come for him, right? You think a guy that young with that much talent playing in the Champions League at the moment, come January, if a team that's not in the Champions League and probably has no hope of going into the Champions League comes for him, he probably says no. However, if a big team comes for him, I mean, there are some teams that are looking for a young striker. Real Madrid.
Again, and so I mentioned this was about the young players. Santi Jimenez, man, 22-year-old. Again, young player coming up big.
Yeah, and this guy, he can't stop scoring right now. But does that directly correlate into the other leagues in Europe? I'm not so sure.
No, sometimes it doesn't. You've seen some of these Eredivisie players go to a Premier League and struggle. Tony Van de Beek.
Anthony. Oh, sorry.
And so I would like to see him.
We've seen them do very well. So it could go either way.
It could, but I would like, I think, definitely see him stay the rest of the season and potentially one more. See how he does, and then get a big move somewhere. But Lazio, they would get one back through the penalty spot. There was a foul on. Who was the foul on?
Castellanos.
That's who it was. Castellanos.
Yeah, Lopez go right through the back of him. Pedro stepped up, converted the penalty.
His jersey says something different, though. It doesn't say Castellanos.
Yeah,
that was funny.
It's Tati. His first name.
Tati, yeah. So that's why I was like, who's this guy? And I was like, oh, wait, Castellanos. Yeah, I remember him last year in La Liga tearing it up.
I had to look it up, too.
But Pedro, man, rolling back the years, steps up to the spot, converts it.
If I'm not mistaken, that's 2 in 2 games for Pedro in the Champions League. Didn't he have a goal in the last game against, what was it, Celtic? Or Atletico? One of the two?
I remember him scoring a goal recently. I couldn't tell you if it was Champions League or Serie A.
Anyways, good for him. He's like 37, 38 years old. So.
But man, you were right about this Feyenoord team. I think you picked them to get out of this group, if I'm not mistaken.
I did.
Along with Atletico.
Holy crap, are they fun to watch.
Or did you pick them for Europa League? I can't remember.
I picked them to get out of the group with Atletico, and I believe I picked Lazio to go into the Europa League. With Celtic to finish last, and you called me batshit crazy.
Well, they were last right now. Moving on to that game, Celtic versus Atletico. This one ended 2-2.
Oh, man.
I thought Celtic were going to do it, man.
First off, I want to talk about these Atletico jerseys. Did you hear the story behind these?
No, I didn't.
The all-red kits. So, 1974, Atletico played Celtic in the Champions League semifinal. They wore these kits at Celtic Park in 74 and tied them and then beat them 2-0 in Spain. But they recreated that jersey just to go to Celtic and wear it. What shithousery. Holy crap.
Fantastic shithousery. But man, Celtic, they scored the first goal in 4 minutes. Inside 4 minutes. Beautiful build-up play.
So nice.
Finished by Furuhashi. Hopefully I said that okay.
Yes, you did. Proud of you.
Thanks. And then Atleti would equalize from the spot. I thought it was a soft pen, but I think just about.
I thought it was very, very soft and probably a bit harsh. Like, I probably wouldn't have called it a penalty kick.
Yeah, Taylor was judged to have brought down Molina. Griezmann would step up. Joe Hart makes a nice save, man. Pushes it onto the post.
So unlucky.
And then it rolls right back to Griezmann for him.
He didn't even have to move. He didn't even have to move.
Griezmann didn't. No, it came right to him. I felt bad for Joe Hart on that one.
I did too. Speaking of rolling back the years.
Right. And Celtic, man, they would take back the lead just 3 minutes later off of, it took a little deflection, but it was a beautiful strike.
Yeah, Luis Palma smashed it. And it was from a tight angle too.
Oh, it was.
Just outside the edge of the 6-yard box and just smashes it in off the far post.
But it wasn't meant to be, man. Watching that, I thought, oh, Celtic, they're going to do it. They're going to get their first win. Nope.
They deserved it, too, in this match.
That guy, man, who's on fire right now, Alvaro Morata, with a lovely kind of stooping down header, puts it far post. Oh, beautiful finish. Beautiful cross from Marcos Llorente. And this one ended 2-2.
Yeah, man. How about Antoine Griezmann right now? He's in fantastic form. 9 goals, 12 appearances in all competitions. He's now third all-time scoring for Atleti. He's 4 league goals and 7 total behind Luis Aragonés for the most in Atleti history.
He's getting up there, yeah. I mean, he's going to be an Atletico great.
Oh, of course. And
no doubt about that.
I'll be honest with you, with just 7 goals needed and 4 league goals, he'll probably do that before the end of the year. No problem.
The way he's playing right now, yeah.
Probably by the end of November, let's be honest.
Rodrigo de Paul would get sent off in this game. Imagine that, Atletico player getting sent off.
Weird. For 2 yellows.
Surprising. So the first one was for dissent, the first yellow. And then the second yellow was just a bad tackle right at the end there.
My favorite is always the reactions after the bad tackles. Just like,
what? That wasn't a bad tackle.
Oh my God. What? I didn't touch him. Man, you cleaned him out. You know you did. Okay? Just walk off the field.
But that leaves Feyenoord, man, top of the group, 6 wins. Atleti, they're in second, 5 points. 6 wins, 6 points for Feyenoord, sorry. Lazio, they're sitting in that Europa League spot, 4 points. Celtic, man. One
lone point. I feel bad for them. They've played better
well.
than 1 point, yeah.
And they have the best jerseys. I love their jerseys.
I do too. Especially
this year. The best jersey in that group, Celtic.
I'll give them that. Yeah. At least they look good losing.
They look good, that's right. Well, let's move on to the group of death, man. Group F. We'll start with Newcastle against Dortmund. This was at St. James's Park. You and we both thought Newcastle were going to win this one. Dortmund running out 1-0 winners.
I thought for sure another Champions League game, especially after that PSG game at St. James's Park, that atmosphere was going to be rocking yet again. They've been on fire in the Premier League. I thought it was going to be rocking. It was not.
I thought we would see more goals than we did. Newcastle have been scoring for fun. Dortmund's defense has been a little sus lately.
Dortmund still haven't lost this season either.
No, but they're not playing the best.
No,
if you look at how they are in Bundesliga.
Yeah. In the Bundesliga, they're still tied on points with Bayern Munich. Not playing well. So,
no.
Good for them.
The goal would come through Felix Nemecha. I gotta say, man, it was a sweet side foot volley. But the way this goal started, it was a fantastic tackle from Nico Schlotterbeck on Anthony Gordon, who then runs the ball forward, passes it to Marco Reus, keeps going. He's down the wing on the side of the box. Marco Reus gives it back to him.
100-yard sprint.
He cuts it back for Nemecha to finish. So I had to shout out Schlotterbeck on that one. What a fantastic tackle. He got the assist.
Schlotterbeck has been the man for Dortmund for years. So it doesn't surprise me at all, but props on giving him a shout out.
And Daniel Malin was also a huge thorn in Newcastle's side, man. Nick Pope had to come up with a couple big saves from him and Fulkrug.
Oh yeah, that double save he had in the first half. I don't know how he got his hand on that second one. It was like he was laying on the ground and somehow like jumped up in the air and saved it from
It was a
laying
weird
down.
one. Fantastic save.
Yeah.
Second half would roll around, and it was obviously Newcastle trying to push for that goal, hitting the post, crossbar. Dortmund, man, they rode that wave of luck and somehow eked out a win on this one. I don't know how.
Massive win for them.
Huge
away
win.
from home. Yeah.
It makes this group a lot more interesting. I mean, this was right here for Newcastle to take, man. They drew at Milan. They got the win against PSG. If they just would have got a win here, they would have been looking pretty. Now, as it stands, Newcastle are in that Europa League position.
Yeah.
Because of the head-to-head against Dortmund.
Yeah, man. Missed opportunity, and this group is now wide open. Dortmund just blew it up. They said, whatever you were planning, Uno reverse card. Don't think so.
I will say, Alexander Isak had to come off injured early in the first half. So hopefully it's nothing long-term for him, because Callum Wilson came on for him, and Callum Wilson missed a couple opportunities he should have finished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Isak, there was a breakaway, and I think like our one-on-one opportunity for him in the first half, and he looked a bit
slow. He looked slow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. I remember when he got through, I was like, oh, he's through, and then he kind of pulled up and
didn't beat the defender.
He laid it off for Anthony Gordon, who
did his
Provedel had a nice save. I got another shout out to Provedel, man. He came up with some big saves too.
Woo.
Him and Pope both look spectacular in this one.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat where he's the only keeper to keep a clean sheet at St. James's Park this season.
That's an interesting stat.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but
I'm sure they will.
Sense. It would make sense.
The other game, I watched this one very closely. This was PSG and AC Milan. This was at the Parc des Princes in Paris. PSG, man, ran out 3-0 winners.
Yeah, they grabbed the Uno wild draw 4. Gave that
a draw 3.
Probably should have been 4, because Milan were very disappointing in this match.
I will say Milan looked good for about the first half an hour until that first goal went in. Like, I would say that first goal was kind of against the run of play, but that was it. That was all Milan. Milan only played for 30 minutes in this game.
Got bossed by a 17-year-old.
17-year-old who looks spectacular, man. Zaire Emery.
I'm not taking anything away from him, because that was a world-class performance from a 17-year-old, even getting high praise from Thierry Henry. So I'm not taking nothing away from him, but he single-handedly bossed that AC Milan midfield.
He did, and he set up the first goal for Kylian Mbappe, who put Fikayo Tomori through the spin cycle, man. Sat him down.
Yeah, and wrong-footed Magic Mike Mannion, too.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't even move.
And that was in the 32nd minute. So yeah, just after that half-hour mark. And again, AC Milan, man, they were just disappointing. So disappointing.
Yeah.
I expected so much more from them.
Especially going forward. It's like, what happened?
Did Rafael Leao or Olivier Giroud play?
I know Ollie played because I saw him take a free kick that got blazed over the bar. But other than that, no, I don't think so. I think he maybe just had a cameo appearance for that free kick.
Pretty much. And just after halftime, devastating counter, some brilliant individual skill from Ousmane Dembele would slot home the second for PSG. I know he had one taken back for, it was a foul in the build-up.
Yeah.
And so that was that goal. It was a foul in the build-up, and it got called back, which I think rightly so. The ref went and looked at the monitor and then called it back. Because Kolomouani would get their second goal. That was in the 53rd. Easy little tap-in off of a shot. And then Kang In Lee would get the third. towards the end there. I think it was that was in the 89th minute, just to finish the route. Milan,
Good for him, though. His first goal for PSG.
Looked like it
meant a lot to him.
I think that performance at St. James's Park for PSG kind of woke them up.
Well, it should have. They got whooped.
Well, they turned around here and whooped AC Milan, man. I thought Milan were going to be better because they just lost at the weekend to Juve in Serie A. Thought maybe they'd be hungry.
Nope, they played the same way they did on the weekend.
Well, they played all right in the weekend until they got a man sent off.
Fair. But man, how good was 17-year-old Warren Zaire-Emery in this match?
Fantastic. Again, I said this was all about the youngsters. Here's a 17-year-old tearing it up in the Champions League against AC Milan.
I mean, he looked better than the guy he replaced in Marco Verratti, and he got 2 assists and a midfield masterclass in this match. I have nothing but the highest of praises for his performance in this match.
And I love it, man. He's not a Marco Verratti who you're paying big money. This is a 17-year-old who's just happy to be on the field.
Oh yeah, and he looks like it too.
Playing like it. He doesn't care about what position he wants to be on that field, man. 17, and he's looking fantastic. But this group, the group of death, is lining up to be one tasty affair, man. PSG sitting top on 6 points, Dortmund in second on 4 points, Newcastle in third on 4 points, and Milan are in fourth with 2 points.
Yeah, man, this group is wide open. Like, PSG got to travel to Milan next match day. Newcastle travel to Dortmund. Anything can happen.
Who do you have finishing out of this group? Who'd you say originally? I think PSG and Milan?
I think so, unfortunately. But now I'd probably say, I think Newcastle probably has enough to get out of this group with PSG.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, wild cards all over the place.
Oh, anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
All of them are great teams. Moving on to Group G, we had RB Leipzig against Red Star Belgrade, or however they pronounce it, Krasna Zvezda.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Red Star.
We'll call them Red Star. Yeah. This one ended 3-1 for RB Leipzig, which, I mean, let's be honest. Of course, it was going to end that way.
Yeah. One way and one way only.
David Raum would put the home side ahead on just 12 minutes after his shot basically just went through the goalkeeper. Powered it right through his legs. Fantastic play, though, working the ball from right to left to get it to him, overloading that left side. And then after being provider for the first goal, Mr. Xavi Simons got his name on the score sheet. I always think, is it Simmons? I don't know, man.
I know. It's like, what is the difference in the spelling? I don't know. But
he scores a fucking golazo from the deep.
From the deep. Holy crap. And this came out of nothing. He just gets the ball probably, 35 yards out. Takes the ball in.
He was deep.
About 3-4 touches infield, and then just pile driver into the top corner, where the spiders lay their eggs.
It was a beautiful one. Again, another young 20-year-old getting on the score sheet.
Do you think PSG regret putting him out on loan?
No, I think they're happy watching him develop the way he is, man.
That probably for me is probably the best signing of the season, because they signed him for $5 million. PSG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Goal of the week, though?
So there's the 3 that stand out for me. Is that one, that Xavi Simons. There's a goal against Young Boys, scores against Man City, a chip.
Well, we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, and then Gabriel Jesus' goal against Sevilla.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 are great. I mean, even the Johan Bakayoko one was wonderful. But I gotta give it to this goal was from so far out, and it was perfectly in the top corner. I gotta give it to this one.
I would too. Yeah, I think I would too. Red Star, though, they would get back into it, getting a goal in the 70th minute. It was kind of against the run of play. Marko Stemenic would find a deflected shot. It was a weird one. A shot comes, deflects, and it just fell perfectly to him. Just had to tap it in.
It's like, here, Merry Christmas.
Pretty much. So a very fortuitous goal there for Red Star. But then Danny Olmo would also kind of find a fortuitous goal. Ball bouncing around the box, comes off the crossbar, falls right to him. Just had to tap it in as well. But I do got to give a shout out, man, to the Red Star goalie. He came up with some
Glazer or Glaze? I don't remember.
I would say Glazer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Came up with some fantastic saves in this game.
Holy cow, was he amazing in this match.
And another interesting thing that happened in this game is a PK was actually reversed.
Yeah. It was a great tackle. I mean, in live play, it did look like a foul. Didn't look like the defender got the ball. But came to the monitor and it was ruled that the RB Leipzig player got all ball.
Correct call for you?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how VAR should be run to the T.
There you go. The other game in this group was Young Boys against Manchester City. We gave a little spoiler. Young Boys scored a goal, but conceded 3. They lost 3-1. I will say this was a very much changed squad from Manchester City.
Very interesting tactics and lineup.
It was an interesting lineup. Yeah, so you had Jack Grealish and Jeremy Doku starting.
Yeah,
Jeremy Doku on the right.
Yeah.
You had Matthias Nunez and Mateo Kovacic starting both in the midfield. We saw the return of Rico Lewis and Nathan Ake. And then actually got a rare substitute appearance from Kevin Phillips.
Again, interesting tactics all around.
It was. Man City would start the scoring in the 48th. Ruben Diaz had a header that was it saved or it came off the crossbar? It came off the bar.
It saved off of the bar. Yeah, so goalie parried it onto the bar.
And so it fell right to Akanji. First goal for Man City for him. But Young Boys would equalize just 4 minutes later, like I said, through a sublime chip that almost looked like it was going out.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I thought it was going over.
And somehow dropped, fell into the goal. Beautiful chip. Elia is the goal scorer. And I saw that, man. So I was watching, I believe it was Milan and PSG, and then watching all these live on my phone. And I saw that was as it was live, and I was like, are Young Boys going to do this? Could they?
Right? Is there something magical going to happen here?
On this artificial turf, no real grass. It wasn't meant to be. Rodri gets fouled in the box. Erling Haaland takes the PK, scores it, of course.
Of course.
And then he would get his second goal. Beautiful finish with his right foot.
Yeah.
Don't see that too often. Kind of curls it to that top corner.
I will say, though, Erling Haaland, he might have had 2 goals in this one.
Should have had 5.
Yeah, he was a little wasteful in this one. Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, you can't harp on him too much. Still scored 2 goals. The guy's still popping them in. But he had chances that I think he should have put away. There's no denying that.
Yeah. And last season probably would have had 3 or 4 goals in this game, in this match.
Potentially. But Man City, man, they're perfect. Sitting on 9 points after 3 wins. RB Leipzig in second with their 2 wins, 6 points. Young Boys on 1 point. Red Star Belgrade also on 1 point. Young Boys sitting in that Europa League spot.
Yeah, I mean, Leipzig and City pretty much in cruise control, exactly where we expect them to be. It's going to come down to the game between Young Boys and Crvena Zvezda or Red Star Belgrade.
Well, on to the last group, Group H. Saw Antwerp.
Is it H or is it H? Group H. No?
What,
like
Group
cool
H?
whip? Cool whip?
Okay, man. I don't Family Guy reference, I see.
Sorry.
We had Antwerp against Porto. Yeah, I'm going to ignore you.
It was bad. That was bad.
This was another one. As I was watching results happen live, Antwerp were winning 1-0. And I was thinking, hot damn. And then I thought, oh, hot damn. As Porto would go on to score 4 goals, they won 4-1.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, Antwerp went ahead, though, in the 37th minute. So, pretty much a stalemate till then. It was very back and forth. Balikwisha would see his shot blocked straight into the path of Yusuf. Great finish off the rebound.
It was. And then just seconds in the second half, Porto equalize. Taremi dribbled through like 2 defenders, releasing the ball to Evangelson, whose deflected shot would find the net. Poor giveaway, though, by Antwerp.
It was poor.
One of their players got caught on the ball in his own half. Can't do that. Leads to danger and goals. But Porto would get the second goal just 6 minutes later. Estaquiao, I believe is how you pronounce that. Estaquio, whatever. He would find the net, calm finish inside the box. Beautiful run from João Mario to set it up.
Oh.
Passes it to him in the box, and yeah.
Speaking of players rolling back the years. Yeah.
Evangelson would find his second goal in the 69th minute to get his brace. Low volley, man. I mean, it was... What a hit. Beautiful kind of cushion touch from Pepe to set it up for him, and he just rockets it into the bottom corner.
What a strike. It was such a sweet volley. Making me hungry.
Pepe would also turn provider again with a ball over the top, and it's delightfully volleyed, kind of chipped over from Evangelson to get his hat trick. He also came on as a substitute in the 44th minute in this one. Scoring a hat trick.
Yeah, I saw him on the bench. I was like, that's a bold decision.
Let's see how it pays out for him, Cotton.
Yeah. Came on before halftime, and that's why you don't bench him. Got this season's first Champions League hat trick.
There you go. The other game in this group was Barcelona against Shakhtar Donetsk. This one ended 2-1 for Barca. Ferran Torres will get the scoring started for Barca in this one, as Gundogan played a lovely ball over the top to Fermin Lopez, who should have scored, let's be honest.
100%.
But he rattles his shot off the crossbar. Rattled that crossbar. Emphasis on rattled.
Rattled. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the whole ball came off the ground. Yeah.
And then Ferran Torres with a lovely finish to put it away.
It was a lovely volley. It wasn't easy.
It came to him quick. Yeah, it wasn't an easy one. I know they took VAR took a long time to look at this one to see if Fermin Lopez was offside. He was not. But guess who would get the second goal? The young 20-year-old Fermin Lopez. Golazo, man. Beautiful shot.
What a strike.
And this one was just 8 minutes later. Yeah.
Where the spiders lay their eggs. But this time off the post again. And it went in.
So I know I've been talking about youngsters a lot in this episode, and I will say Fermin Lopez's performance, I think, was my favorite.
Oh, easy. He was a man of the match in this one, and he was everywhere, spraying shots at the goal. And I mean, would he hit the post like 3-4 times in this one?
I think he should have had at least a couple goals in this one. Yeah, he hit the post again. Yeah, in the second half, he had a low shot that kind of bounced off the post. I'm curious. Do you think he starts this weekend against Real Madrid in El Clasico?
I mean, with that performance, I mean, what, are you going to start Rafinha over him?
Well, he plays more in that midfield role, so it'd be Lamine Yamal starting over Rafinha.
Okay.
So De Jong, Gavi, Pedri
should be out. Pedri looks like he's going to be out. I don't see why you don't. With that performance, how can you not?
I would like to see maybe Frankie De Jong, Gundogan, and Lopez in that midfield.
That would be nice to see. It's all going to depend on who's healthy. But
it is. They do have quite a few injuries. We'll see if some of them are back. I mean, Lewandowski's out, Gavi's out, Pedri, Rafinha. So we'll see who comes back. João Felix came off injured, but he said on social media that he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he said he's fine. He's already looking forward to practice tomorrow.
But Shakhtar would get back into this one. They got a goal later on.
62nd minute.
62nd minute. Yeah, and it made it interesting. I will say, it kind of rattled Barca a little. But man, they pull through. Those La Masia products showing up big. And I love to see it. I love to see these youngsters coming through, man. Lamine Yamal, who's 17.
It's amazing. How do they keep producing 20? these world-class talents over and over? And it's not just like one at a time. It's in bunches. If you think right now, they got Lamine Yamal, they got Gavi, Pedri, Alejandro Balde, Fermin Lopez.
Who's that youngster that just scored on the weekend?
Yeah, Marco
Geig or something, Guay.
Yeah. So yeah,
again, another young player.
Again, that's where are we at 7-8 now. At the same time, this is insane.
It is.
Why do they keep buying players? They have all these youngsters. I don't. They
don't need to. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's save them billions of dollars or pounds or euros, whatever you want.
There you go. But man, so that brings us into this episode. What a Champions League week it was. Group of death is wide open. Manchester United back into being able to get to those knockout rounds. We're seeing the usual suspects, the Barças, Madrids, Man Cities, looking like they're going to go through. And it was a fun week in the Champions League.
Yes, it was, my friend.
Yes, it was. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to check out our socials. Find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Join our Facebook group. Let us know, who's your favorite new youngster coming up? Who's your favorite performance from this match week 3 in the Champions League? Because we want to hear from you guys. Don't forget to check out our Redbubble. Check out the merch. As always, we love you guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.